That is the root of Christianity. It was never made for anything else. The coming of Jesus was not to enrich people. Can I show you a rich man who was made rich, and God had to come to remind him, please, Mr. Man, I made you for myself. Return. Where we began. In chapter 28 of Genesis, we find a man called Jacob. Talk about the place of the beginning of man. That is where God willed everything to Jacob. And Jacob was sleeping post there. The first day man slept, what happened? God picked life from a man. The very first day man slumbered. God picked something. So in man, there are living things inside you. They are living their destinies. Inside you, there are nations. Inside you, there are generations. The first day man slept. That is how we study in the Bible. God picked another person from a man. A living one for that matter. And now, in chapter 28, a man sleeps. And God comes when a man is sleeping, because a man can only sleep in the hands of God. That is where a man can find a sweet sleep. You can't sleep anywhere else. When a man slept, God came and told him, you know what? The place where you are laying your head right now, I've given this land to you and your generations. In this place, I shall be your God. In this place, I have made you my own. In this place, I have covenanted with you here. No. And in this place, because I know you like wandering around, from this place, I make a promise that I will go with you. I shall be with you. I shall make you an overcomer from all the troubles of life. Hello? The place of beginning. I'm speaking about the place of beginning of a man. There are things you can never become unless you locate your beginnings. That is why we are studying into the footsteps. I'm not ready to recap that teaching. Because you have failed so much. Because you have been living in our neighbors' households. Like people who don't have homes. You carry faith that belongs to another. You go to church, you don't know a God. You don't have any God. You have no relationship with God. And you live and you are carried by other people's faith. Why? You have no home. You are a wanderer. You are yet to settle. And a staggering spirit, actually, it's a demonic spirit. The Spirit of God is a settled spirit. It's a relaxed spirit. Operates with power. Operates with greatness. Look at this man. This place I have given unto you. I will the land and the people, which meant that even the people in the land were meant to be his servants. What are you doing today? When did it begin? Where did it begin? Who began it? Because what matters is the beginning of it. Where did it begin? Where were you launched? God wrote you somewhere. And then it came a time, it was not possible for you to remain there. You matured in the spirit. And you were launched into the physical. Where were you launched? You are here thinking, I have reached a year in my life where I need to evolve and become something else. That is not an idea. It is not a thinking. It is a task you must accomplish. Whatever you are thinking you must become, God saw it. God planned it. God made you before you were born. Now the Spirit is confessing it unto you, Mr. Man, you're not here to fail your God. There is something you must become. There is a level you must enter now. It begins somewhere. But who is a man? Let's jump from chapter 28 to chapter 35. That is 25 years. God comes again to Jacob. Return to Bethel, the place where you first met your God. Build an altar there. Who is the Jacob of chapter 28 and the Jacob of chapter 35? A duration of 25 years. Chapter 28 speaks of a man who is running away from death. It speaks of a man who has been rejected. It speaks of a con man who is chased away from home. It speaks of a man who cannot be impressed by anybody. Are you getting me? It speaks of a bachelor who have nothing of his own. Then chapter 35, that is 25 years down the line, it speaks of an established man who has gone beyond having a wife to have wives. That is the level of having a wife, and you settle down. This man entered the level of having wives. The level of becoming rich to the level of becoming wealthy. But God was like, Mr. Man, this is not why I called you. No. This is not what we said in the beginning. The problem with us, the moment, somebody said that in church is like an hospital. And there are a lot of many sick people there. Na wengine wasikiangi madawa. Bwana asifiwe. Sasa wana na ambao luckily wanaponyoka wanapewa zile piriton wanapona. They went up thinking God just wanted to heal them. That's all. They went away thinking Mungu alikuwa tu anataka kunipea kazi. That's all. They went up thinking Mungu anileta hapa anifanye tu mtumishi. That's all. They went up thinking that Mungu anileta hapa tu nijue kuomba. Now I can pray. I will tally here in prayer. No. The prayer is a ladder. That is why we find in chapter 28, it is a level whereby Jacob looks at the ladder that connects into God. Right? So whatever happens after you have noticed the ladder, it is a process of making you, to grow you, so that you can have the capacity to stand again at that place where you belong in the first. At that place where God launched you and continue with the task that God had given in your life. Are we ready to remember where we began? Are we ready to remember where is our home? Are we ready to remember who is the God of our beginning? What was the purpose of our salvation? Where did we come from? Hello? If I ask Dan today here why he is an engineer, he can tell me it is passion. He loves building. He took the course because it is something that he feels it is in his blood. Do you have a blood? Where do you manufacture the blood you call your own? And why can you tell me you have it in your blood? Where did you get it? And we end up making things, crown them our own. Are you getting me? And knowingly that every day that God gives unto your life ushers you into assignment. And the end goal of the assignment is to take you back to your Bethel. Is to take you back to the place of the first encounter. The reason why today, okay, let me use what is happening here. The reason why today you are able to pray 30 minutes, you are yet to know it. Mwenda mbele za Mungu muulize hii kelele yote ilitoka wapi? Mbona ninapiga mshene hivyo? Why am I groaning this much? Bwana sifiwe. Actually, what am I becoming? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Today, let me use my chair here. When we started to pray with chair here, there are realms we could never enter together. It used to remain somewhere. Today, there are areas we are working together with him. I enter, I find him. He enter, he finds me. There are chariots we can abort together today. Why? Unanikimbiza ukienda wapi? Have you understood the purpose? Have you understood why you have come? Why have God brought you to the level where you are now? Why all of a sudden you have 3 verses in your mind? Na mwalimu alikusomesha Sunday school miaka 10 ukushika moja. Why? There is something that God is working on. It is rooted from somewhere. And the earlier you discover the purpose of it in your life, the better. Why? You will not waste of your 25 years. Mungu akujenge kukukumbusha there is a place where you belong. I read this verse and I was ashamed of myself. Na nikawa nauliza Mungu, when first did we meet? What were we talking about? What did we plan? Am I still sticking to the plan? God, am I working as per the agreement? Hello? Hello? Must I read you the verses? And Jacob himself said to God, if you bring me back safe here, I shall build an altar here for your name. But after 25 years, is God reminding him, go back to Bethel, build an altar there, settle there, dwell there. Why? No matter how much you evolve, God wants to walk with you in the place of the beginnings. That place na ambao mambini ulikuwa unajua tu ni baba yetu aliye mbinguni. Na unaomba mpaka baba wa mbinguni anakuja unakaa kwa mbinguni na ni mbingu hujui. Do you know that place you were? Bwana sifiwe. God desires that place. When you were a baby, you knew nothing. When haukuwa na chochote chako unaweza tegemea. When you are unable to carry yourself. Wakati ungejivalisha, God is anauliza, hizo nyakati zilienda wapi? Bwana sifiwe. Hizo nyakati zilienda wapi? And let me tell you, speak about the effects of reality, which is evolution. Deborah says this. And in those days, German, village life had ceased in Israel. Ushamba ilikuwa imeisha. So there is importance of ushamba. They like that reality. Ushamba ni nini? In that place where you were not exposed to any manner of toxicity that can take away from God. In that place na ambapo ulikuwa unajua kana kwamba hata kukula kwangu si kwenda kwa duka kununua chakula haki. Kukula kwangu ni maombi. If I dare not pray, there will be no food for me. If I dare not pray, hii nyumba italipwa. If I dare not pray, actually hata sijui natoka niende wapi. When God, you was your walk path. You had no connection. Unasifiwe. Hakuna mtu mtingetangamana na yeye. Now you have 100 friends. Unaweza toka uende ukashinda na fulani, kesho ukashinda na fulani. Ukitamani hiki fulani anaweza kufanyia, kesho nyingine yule anaweza kukufanyia. There was a day you were alone with God. And God seeks that day. God is looking for that day. When will a man return to the village life that he once spent with God? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm older enough to understand these things. When we talk about village life, our mothers were never taken to maternity. They used to give birth at home. That is what we call village life. And it was successful. And children used to grow. There were no diapers. Shati zilikuwa zinaona kazi. Are you getting me? And children grew. Hakukuwa na maziwa ya nani. Tuko pamoja pale. Lakini hakuna mtoto alikuwa na marasmus. Children were healthy. Tuko pamoja pale. Hakukuwa na hospitali mingi at level 5, level 3. Kwa hivyo kuna ugonjwa ya level 5 pia. Na kuna level 2. Those hospitals were never there. And then the little concoction which was being made in that local area ilikuwa inaponya watu. Are you seeing the importance of that local life? That village life? That you lived with your God? Manasifiwe. As in, you know, I always tell people, when you rapture into tongues, you become a baby. That day you were babbling before God, knowing nothing to pray. When you enter into tongues, you turn into that baby. You speak things that only Father can hear. Hello? You speak in a language that only you, Father, you can understand what the Son is saying. And that place is sweet. That place is sweet. Watoto wengine wakianza kuongea ndio wanaachananga na wazazi. Lakini wakati akajui kuongea ni kipenzi cha mzazi. Yeye tu ndio anajua akisikia njaa. Look at how we face. The moment we have our own language, the moment we have our own tongues. That's how we face. Sababu unapata hata unaenda ukitangaza vitu huko nje zenye hakuna. When you knew not to speak anything, God understood the language of your soul. See that local life? And God is looking for that baby that he had. God is looking for that little child Mwenye hapo anajua kusema kana kwamba mimi sitaki mkate yenye ina jam. Jua hata hapo anajua kuna kitu inaitwa jam. Ni baba tu alijua mtoto anahitaji nini. That place where you have no will of your own. Mkinifunga diaper ni sawa, msiponifunga nitasusutu hapa. And it is not a sin. Look how sweet that life is. Bwana asifiwe. Eti umenibeba. Nasikia kwenda kususu nipeleke. No. Sijui kama kuna vitu zinaitangwa choo. Na susu wapi? Sio watoto wanakanga maisha mzuri. Why can't we be babies to our God? Una grow kienda. What have you become ever since you grew up? What have you achieved ever since you grew up? Ever since you became a runaway na ukatoka nyumbani. Bwana asifiwe. Amen. Many have achieved things but they have lost the location. Many have achieved wealth in the land but they have lost the location. God, when he made a man, he made it open, specific, that man had a location, a place of dwelling. Up to date, that map was never eradicated. It is still in the mindset of God that man must have a place to settle. Where is the place of man to settle? The place of the Spirit. Remember my verse? The soul and the flesh speaks together. Come, let us return to our God. He was ours. He owned the soul and he created the body. Mnaona hii cooperation? Bwana sifiwe. Pale chini inasema aje? He has bruised us but he will bind us up. Unaelewa? Wakati nafsi iliugua, mwili pia uliugua. And the only remedy they have, both of them, is returning back to the Father. Ndio waponyewe hapa. Uponyaji wao uko into returning and the footsteps. Hello. Hello. I must ask you this question tonight before we finish. For how long then will you remain here when you have a home? For how long will you follow yourself when there is a voice calling you, son, my daughter, my child, follow me? For how long will you wander around? Whatever goes around in the area of darkness is a thief. Mwizi anauawa. And we have seen men and women who believe in God dying like that. We have seen destinies that were of God dying like that because they were staggering around. And they were mistaken to be thieves. They were mistaken to be spirits of darkness. And they were killed. Destinies were destroyed. Why? Whoever was entrusted with the destiny, whoever was entrusted with the life, never bothered to think, where do I belong? Where is my home? Why am I here? Every little knowledge added to your life today, it is to propel you to reach home. Easy. Every little knowledge. You grow, you can intercede. You grow, you can now understand the word. You grow, you can now discover things. You can even unveil things of the Spirit to mankind. Every increment in man's life, it is a recipe to make him grow toward the right passage into the footsteps, into the right path of our God. This is my plea tonight. Come, let us return. Summon everything that you have. Summon your life. Summon your vision. Summon everything. Tell it the truth. You were never made for here. There's a place where you belong. Summon it. Carry your own. Go to the Lord. Carry your own. Go to your Maker. And the moment you reach there, actually you will become something you have never prayed for. You don't know yourself. You don't know yourself. Engineer, it is a place that is needing money. That is why you want a job. It is not you who need money. It is something that is asking for finances. That is why you are like, I want to be employed. You don't need money. You are made for something greater than men. The moment you enter home, God makes you, all perfects you, and what you were before you were launched into this life. Before you were brought here, you were something. The best thing a man can become is what he was, not what he wanted. I spoke something on Sunday and people never understood. Today, if I am made to own something, I not go around bragging. I was once owned. So it cannot tickle me. Are you getting me? It cannot tickle me. I owned. You will not give me some millions here and you find me now, I'm wearing heels. I can't shake people's hands. I still walk around with my babies. Because these are things that belongs to me, they are just returning. Even unto the spiritual life, I desire so because I was something before I came. We are praying so much into the spirit. Let us direct our energy to home. Let us direct our energy to the place where we began. Let us direct our energy to the things that we have never known about ourselves. Imagine that little thing you're asking God about is your own making. They are discoveries that they have formed themselves in your mind. That is why you are asking them. Today, if you are told who you are supposed to be, maybe you answer to repent. Maybe you start to plead to God, my Father, please don't make me that. Don't make me that. Change me into something else. If God tells you direct, this is what I made you to be. This is where I made you to operate. I urge us tonight, let us look at the call of Hosea as we close the fellowship of tonight. Let's look at the call of Hosea. Summon the wholeness of yourself in a prayer. Let us have a moment of prayer. 1 to 2 minutes, and then I will welcome Chair to continue from there. Summon everything that belongs unto you. The past, the present, and the future.